All right, because we are short a member for a quorum, this won't actually be a formal meeting of the committee, so we can't approve the previous minutes. What we can do is consider the items on the agenda, which in this case would be item number 1. Any of the members present who want to, we can go through the process of voting just to see which members present would like to be a sponsor on this for the agenda at the end when we have the April 9th meeting. It'll go on as an individual with all your names on it. So, and the camera can continue rolling. So.
Okay, item number 1, authorizing a lease agreement for the rental of suite number 20 at the Times Union Center. Bob?
Okay, Mr. Chairman, this is Blue Shield of Northeastern New York. This is a renewal on the suite. This is the only suite that has a 1-year term, and it automatically has to be renewed every year, as compared to the rest of the suites are all 3-year terms. And we did this many years ago. It's been in play now, and they've been a suite holder for, I think, about 9 years. And the reason that we did it is because this suite is located behind what would be the backdrop. So when there's an end stage, this suite has to be relocated every time that there's a backdrop. And so the 16 seats can't be used for the events, for the big concerts and so forth. So it wasn't as easy filling this suite as some of the ones that would be viewable to events. So they've been really good tenants. They're current with all their payments, and they've been a really good partner to the building. So we're asking to keep this rolling and keep the 48.5 coming in on an annual basis with the 1-year renewable each year.
Okay, could I have a motion to approve?
So moved. I'll second.
Tony, second by Dennis, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Number 2, reviewing the income statement.
So there's 3 different income statements that are on here. I think most of you probably have seen the year-end numbers for 2017 ended with a net operating profit of a little over $1.2 million. The month of January was a very it was a good month from a attendance and profitability standpoint. And except for the cancellation of the celebration event, which I think most people know was as a result of the promoter being in default and not coming up with the money that he was supposed to, which is what caused that cancellation. But nonetheless, we currently, through the month of February, we're currently sitting with a net operating profit of $403,454. Whereas the budget is $332,735. So we're a little bit up on the budget through February. And the month of March is a good month, with the exception of the MAC tournament, which did not come up with the budget number that we wanted because we had the major snowstorm on the Thursday, Friday of the tournament, which caused a lot of the buses from the schools and the outlying markets to not come up to Albany. And on top of that, Siena lost on Thursday night. And anytime Siena is one and done, the rest of the tournament is always a little bit tough to have the attendance numbers where we want them. But the rest of the month so far is looking great. And this tournament that we are currently in the middle of with the championship for the NCAA tonight, with the East Regional Championship, with UConn playing against South Carolina, is doing very well. We're over $100,000 up from 2015, the last time that we hosted it. And we're going to have over 20,000 people that'll be here for the 2 days, for the Saturday session and then for tonight's session, which it far exceeds what we thought we would end up having. We thought it was going to be about 8,000 people per session. We ended up with over 10 per session. So very, very happy. The committee, the NCAA, is very happy. You may know they also awarded the same event to us next year. And then the NCAA Men's Committee awarded the first and second rounds of the men's basketball to us for 2020. So none of this would have happened without all of you and without the county spending the money that it did to enhance the facility, the atrium, building the new media center, the Capitol Center being built and the Renaissance Hotel being a part of all the mix. These new facilities and infrastructure that have had investment from county and state are why the NCAA feels so good about our market right now. And I think we're in line to get quite a few more NCAA events down the road.
Any questions? I asked Bob if he wanted to just tell us a little bit more about the Times Union Center, some of the other success stories, challenges, and some of the things he's looking to do in the future. Go ahead.
So I'll try not to bore you guys, but we do have some pretty good things that are going on. The capital improvements that are going to be taking place very soon on the concourse. The concourse is going to be completely repainted. The concession stands are all going to be renovated. The suites are going to be renovated. The Leah Lounge is going to be renovated. Those are all capital projects that are on the county's capital budget and plan. And so the process, as you all know, with the RFPs and with the awarding of the contracts and the time that it takes to go through that process has all been done. And it's been a number of months that it's taken, and now we're finally at a point where just after this tournament is over, in the next week or two, we're going to be starting the work on concession stands, which will be Santa Ruben, and the suites and the Leah Lounge is going to be Murnane Construction. CNS Architects are involved with the suites and Leah Lounge. And then the painting will be shortly after we get going with everything. We don't want to have anything painted and then have construction be done where it's going to impact that. So we want to make sure the construction gets done in certain parts of the concourse, and then we'll paint that when it's done so that it's all fresh and finished. So making sure that those areas that are being worked on, even while we have events going on, is quite a process. So we have to make sure that there's enough room for people to get around the building, that it looks good. So we've got banners that'll be in front of the concession stands that'll show more or less renderings of what it's going to look like when it's done. And kind of the same, you may have seen the renderings outside of the atrium. You know, the atrium had the same kind of a banner with the photos of what the atrium would look like when it was finished. And that's the kind of thing that we want to put on the concourse, so people can see, you know, the residents of this community can see the money that's being spent is going to look like this, and it'll be a skirt around the work that's being done, so they won't be able to see it, but they'll see the rendering of what it's going to look like. And then once each stand gets finished, that'll be opened up, and we'll close another stand down and go from there. And that way we can keep the patrons happy with opportunities to be able to have the concession items they want while they're coming to the events. And we can still host the events. And we've got quite a few events while this work's going to be going on that are going to be sizable in nature. And there could be 10 to 12,000 people on any given event. So we still need to be able to service them while they're in. And that was the same thing for the atrium. As we did, 50% of the atrium was being worked on, as you remember, and the other 50% opened up and might have been finished. And then it flip-flopped and the work went to the other side. And using the exterior doors on the Market Street side of the building allowed us to have the same number of entry doors to be able to get people in and out of the building, even while we were doing 50% of the work. So that kind of planning is something that we worked hard to make happen. And we had more people last year that came through the turnstiles than the prior year, even though all that work took place. And now you see this beautiful new atrium that's all finished. So we're really happy with it. We get all kinds of nice compliments from people that have never been to the building before, that never saw what it looked like before it got done, but they marvel at how beautiful it looks right now. And that includes members of the NCAA Women's Basketball Committee that walked through and thought it looked really good. Other events that we're working on, we've got a number of concerts that are going to be announced in the next couple of weeks. Monday we have a big announcement for a show that I think will probably sell out as soon as it goes on sale. Can't divulge who it is yet, unfortunately, because the promoters have their way of announcing it. And I remember one time there was a leak that came out where somebody made an announcement, I think it was a radio station of a show, and I was at a corporate meeting out of town, got a call from the agent and said, we're taking your show away because you leaked that it was coming. Well, it wasn't the building that leaked it at all, it was the radio station that heard it from the promoter. And after 4:30 in the morning, writing a couple letters to the agency, we were able to get it back, but that's the kind of thing that can happen. That's why I can't announce who this artist is, but there's some really good shows coming in the fall that are gonna be sellout in nature, and I think right now the budget looks good. We have to make up some ground for the MAC tournament. We lost a little money in the MAC tournament because of what the conditions were and so forth. But we feel good about the NCAA picking up a lot of that with the profit that we're gonna make from this weekend. And then we are aggressively pursuing the promoter of the celebration cancellation for funds that we need to collect from him. So we are taking the role in the fiduciary responsibility of the building on your behalf to make sure that we're making our budget numbers.
Anyone have any questions? No? Bob, thank you very much. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion, second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
So moved.
Thank you.